Praise the Lord, everybody. I just wanted to come on this morning and share a word with you that the Lord gave me, to share with you all this morning. I give God praise. I give him honor. I give him glory. I thank him for what all he's doing for us. In spite of what's going on, in spite of the virus, God is still strengthening and blessing his people. In the midst of the storm, he's doing this here. And I give him praise. I want to share a word with you coming out of Matthew, the 23rd chapter, in the 24th in the 28th verse. What God was talking to the Pharisees, he was talking to them and letting them know what time it was, he was doing that. In the 24th verse, it said, "You blind guy, you string out a net, but swallow camel. Woe to you, teachers of the law, and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You clean the outside of the cup and dish, but the inside, they are full of greed and self-indulgence." You know what I'm saying? You clean the outside. You got the outside looking good. You understand? But the inside is dirty. You know what I'm saying? It's not clean on the inside. And that's what happened to a lot of leaders. The outside look good, but the inside is not clean. You know what I'm saying? And God was letting them know, your inside is not clean. Your heart is not right. You know what I'm saying? It's not right with me. So don't be fronting like you got it together and you know you don't have it together. You understand? You know you're not serving me like you're supposed to. You understand? You pretending to the peoples like you got it going on, but you're not. But you don't. You don't have it going on. In verse 26, the blind Pharisee first clean the inside of the cup and dish, and then the outside also will be clean. You to clean the inside first. Get your heart right. You know what I'm saying? Clean your heart up. You know what I'm saying? Then the outside, whatever's in, it gonna come out. You understand? Whatever in, it's gonna come out. And then verse 27. It's a woe to you, teachers and followers, and woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You are like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of dead men's bones and everything unclean. You see what I'm saying? He's telling what you're doing. Your heart is nasty. Your heart is not clean. And he was telling them, he didn't get behind the corner or nothing. He told them to their face. He said, your heart is not clean. So don't appear to be like you got it going on, like you all up in heaven. You understand? That you praising God, that you serving him wholeheartedly. The devil is a lie. You understand? He said your heart ain't clean. You understand? Clean the inside of the cup. Why are you trying to make everything look like you got it going on the outside? He said, clean the inside of it. Clean your heart up. And then in verse 28, it said, in the same way, on the outside, you appear to people as righteous, but on the inside, you are full of hypocrisy and wickedness. He said, you're wicked. You understand? You were kind of like you got it going on, like you all up in heaven, like you all holy and then that. You understand? But he said, you're wicked on the inside. You understand? Jesus wasn't playing with them. He was telling them what time it was. You understand? So as being leaders of the gospel, you understand? You got to get it together. You got to get it together. You understand? Because God knows. You understand? God is getting ready to uncover you. So you better get this thing, you better line this thing up with God. Line it up with him. Stop pretending that you got it going on. Stop pretending that you serving God and you know you're not. I mean, let me break some down to you. It's been some years back, maybe 20, maybe 30 years. It was one particular pastor had separated themselves from this group of teachers, of preachers. You understand? God told him to lead them. And he did. He did just what God told him to do. But still to him, you understand? God told him when he left to go down on this corner. This little building was down there to seat 20 people. No, he didn't want that. He wanted the building across the street seat 400. You understand? When he did that, that's when he left God. That had been about close to 40 years ago. You understand? It's been just that long. Close to 40 years ago. Been about 30 some years ago. You understand? That he it been that long since he walked away from God. And he's still thinking that he was still walking with God. No, but you left God then. You walked off and left him then. You understand? So we as children of God, we got to know whether we're still walking with God or not. Because a lot of people's not walking with God, but they're saying it. They look like they're walking with God. They look like it, but they're not. They're not walking with Him. And they got peoples, you got leaders, that feeding the peoples. You know how you got little chickens, you whatever you throw at it to them, they're going to run to you. You know what I'm saying? You can throw grass, you can throw rocks, whatever. You throw it out there, they're going to run to you. And that's what a lot of these doing. They throwing all this stuff. You understand? To the children. You know what I'm saying? Throwing all this stuff to the members, but they just eat everything they throw out there. It ain't good. A lot of stuff they throwing out there, it's not good for them. You understand? You throw a rock to a chicken, that rock ain't good for the chicken. You understand? But they gonna pick it up anyway. You understand? They gonna swallow it anyway. Cause when you clean chicken, sometimes you see rocks inside them. Yeah, they eat everything, anything you throw out there to them, they'll eat it. You understand? And that's what the people they don't took God out the equation. They don't took God out the equation, and they don't put man in the equation. You understand? That ain't scripture. Okay, let's take you to the book of let's take you to Genesis 18. You understand? Chapter 18, verse 13 and 15, where it said, is anything too hard for God? Because when God was talking to Abraham, when the angel was talking to Abraham and was telling Abraham, this time next year you're going to have a son, Sarah laughed. So when she laughed, she took God out the equation. Yeah, like God couldn't, this couldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't got too old. This couldn't happen. She moved God out the equation. And we got peoples, right? We got peoples. Don't move God out the equation. And they don't put man in his place. In his place. They don't put man. Because like when something happened, like, Pastor, my husband ain't treating me right. Pastor, my wife is cheating on me. Pastor, my husband won't even have sex with me. You know what I'm saying? They telling Pastor everything. But what about God? You know what I'm saying? What about God? Why are you not telling God anything? Why are you not? Because why? Because you don't move him out the equation. Sarah did. When she laughed, she moved God out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the angel asked her, said, is anything too hard for God? Too hard for the Lord? I will return to you at the appointed time next year, and Sarah will have a son. Sarah was afraid, so she lied and said, I did not laugh. But he said, yes, you did laugh. You understand? When she laughed, she took God out the way. She moved God to the side. You understand? And laughed. You understand? I'm too old. I can't have no children. I'm too old. But God let her know when the next year came, that time, she did have a son. You understand? Anything you bringing all this stuff here to pastor, what about God? You know what I'm saying? Only God can set things in order. Only God can fix this here for you. You understand? He can do this here for you, not your pastor. God can do it. You understand? Because he sent the Holy Spirit to lead you, to guide you, and to direct you. So why are you leaning on pastor? Why are you leaning on man? You know, it said in the book of Jeremiah. See, I had to take it on back to Jeremiah. Jeremiah 17. Jeremiah 17, where he said, Jeremiah 17 and 5. Thus said the Lord, cursed be the man that trusts in man and make flesh his arm, whose heart departed from the Lord. He said, cursed be him. Every time you turn around, you run into pastor, telling pastor this here, you telling pastor that. Pastor, I need to talk with you. Something going on in the house, and he ain't acting right. Or pastor, she ain't acting right. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold it. Calm down. You don't move God out the way. And you don't put pastor down. You know what I'm saying? Remember, you serving pastor, you ain't serving God. I said, well, what you talking about? I am serving God. Well, why are you, every time something happens, you get on the phone, you tell pastor about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you took him out the way. You telling pastor everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything that happened in your household, you weren't telling pastor. You know what I'm saying? Telling pastor this and telling pastor that, he ain't treat me right. He won't have a sex with me or nothing like that, She cheating on me, I know she cheating on me, pastor. You know what I'm saying? I know she cheating on me. You tell the pastor everything. But what about God? You don't move God out the equation, and you don't put your pastor in there. You know what I'm saying? See, God is showing it to you. He's showing it to you what you're doing. He is showing it to you. You know what I'm saying? What you're doing. You don't move him out the way. And you don't start pastoring this place. You understand? And God is angry. He is angry because you got another lover. And God ain't pleased with that. You love somebody else more than you love him. You understand? You consult your pastor more than you consult God. You understand? Everything that go down, my pastor this and my pastor that and my pastor that. You be talking with somebody on the phone, it's your pastor. Yeah, child, we're going to sing song prayer. Child, I'm glad when the church on back up, child, so we can go to church. I'm so glad. Remember, God the one who shut the church down. You know what I'm saying? God the one who shut the door. He shut the door in the church. And you still complain about, oh, I'd be so glad when the church open back up. I'd be so glad. But what about God? He the one who shut the doors for he can get your attention. He want to talk to you. He want to sit down. He want to talk to you. He want to have an intimate relationship with you. He want to talk to you. You understand? But you don't want to talk to him. You want to talk to pastor. You understand? Pastor been feeding you this stuff. You understand? It's not good for you. He's not telling you, you know you're in your mess. You know, he ain't telling you to repent. And he ain't telling you none of that. You understand? The Pharisee wasn't telling the people what they needed to know. He just giving them a little bit, you know. They looking up to the Pharisees like they were God. Like they was God. That's what the people was doing. And that's what they're doing today. They're looking at their pastor like he's God. But I tell you this, people, you better get it together. You better get this thing. You better line up with God's word. Do what God's word say do. Stop depending on your pastor because he is not God. I love you and y'all be blessed.